Hi everybody, in this video we're going to talk about financial planning. Financial planning for a pilot car driver. What does it entail? How it is being done? I'll show you my own financial planning. In the later part of the video we're going to talk about brokers, carriers, who has currently business, how to get business. Alright? Let's get into it. Welcome to Pilot Car 101. My name is Herbert Schwarzkruger. I don't know if you have ever done any financial planning or if that even is a concept for you, but in essence what it is you plan out how to spend your money and you compare it to what money are you currently making and what money are you maybe making in the future. So financial planning is really figuring out what is your overhead, and you probably are very familiar with that term, overhead. Every business is using an overhead as a means to establish what the price should be for their products or their services. So I'm going to show you two financial plannings. One I did some time ago, and then one that I did for this year. So now let's just take a look at this. The first one I'm going to show you here is the one I did I think about 1.5 years ago or so. And basically just to go over first this spreadsheet here, you have on the very left here in the gray area going the column here, you have the various things that the specific company names or whatever where you spend your money on, and then on top of it you have the category, what it is, is it a credit card, this is a car, insurance for a pilot car, and then you have yearly expenses, some things you pay yearly, and then other things you only pay monthly. And then on the very right over here we have monthly income, the average for the past 6 months, which then gives you a comparison of how this how your spending compares to your income. Okay, and then you can really see what actual profit are you making. Now up here the first three items, this is my credit card payments, these are monthly payments, and this is just going to be different for everybody. Then we go down, we have insurance for the pilot car. Now this is a monthly insurance, all right? The professional liability, the commercial auto insurance, and the general liability. Now down here we're gonna get to things like phone expenses. Now here, this is all administrative expenses. Part of this is also load covered. That's the app that allows you to get messages for loads that are for pilot car drivers that are being looked for. And then Cover My Load is just a similar app. It's a smaller one, less traffic, but for me it has a higher quality of service. However, the big downside on that side is it just doesn't have a lot of business. You don't get a lot. You get maybe 2 or 3 things a day that are maybe for you. And however, most of the time you can take 1 or 2 of them, fairly easily. So that's not bad either, So it's anyway, I have both of them, I have both of them because I want to get always business. Now let's go on to the pilot car weekly fuel. This is the operating expenses for the pilot car, the oil change, maintenance, etc. And then what food I need, my clothing, etc. The money I pay for my apartment at home, then I have an RV, the storage monthly for that. So this gives me that's what I pay in my monthly payments, all right? This is the 2,443 back then, that's what I paid. And then we go to this this column here, the yearly column. We move over here, and now these are the yearly payments, RV insurance, RV registration, the pilot car DMV, and my Nevada Amber Light, my Georgia Amber Light. Now uspilotcars.com is a website where you can get yourself registered as a pilot car driver, and they link basically to your website, which then increases the rating of your own website, and that costs $23 a year. Wide load shipping is another one, similar thing, a registry for pilot car drivers. And then this is my money that I pay yearly for my GoDaddy website, highroadtruckers.com. Now I have another service here called Grammarly. That's because I'm a foreigner and I need that to handle my Germanic English at times. Anyway, $139 a year, then my TurboTax, and then here I have something that is very important if you want to be a lead front car, pilot car. This is in-route map subscription. I will do a video on in-route, a separate video. It deserves a video, maybe it's going to deserve 2 videos. It's a very good app. Basically what it is it allows you to make a detailed route based on the permits from the DMV, and this detailed route is then what you will follow as a lead pilot car driver or as a high pole driver. I am totally pumped about in-route. It's not the only thing on the market. I think it's the best thing on the market though. And I will talk about this in a future video in detail, I promise you. Anyway, and then here you got the summary, the yearly expenses. You know, this is the things that I pay in yearly expenses. And this then I divided into 12, and this is then the monthly expense of the yearly expenses. And that gives me the total every month. This is my complete overhead. $2,568 is what I have to come up with every month to just stay afloat, you know, to keep my nose above water and still get some air. That, of course, you make way more than that. Now, what I did over here is I then calculated what is my monthly income, the actual income. So you can see I have 4,500 that I actually made on average during that time, and 2,500 is what I was spending. And then here I put down my projected monthly income, where I wanted to go, and I figured out if I do this or the other thing and so forth, I might be able to increase that. And that's the figure that I put down, what my projection was. It's kind of an estimate, you know. So now that's it. This was the first one, and that's what I did about 1.5 years ago. And now, recently, a few months ago, I did one that is different. And the difference in that one is that in this new year, which was actually last year, my insurance year ends in October, I switched from monthly payments to yearly payments. So now my credit card payments are still the same. They're actually not the same, but I just put the same figures down because whatever, you know, I mean, this is so different for everybody. It's just, it shows that you have credit card payments or may have credit card payments. Then here's my phone expenses, nothing changed on this. My pilot, my load, my apps, my load cover, then cover my load. My operating expenses, this changed somewhat over here. And then we go down and you see I have now no car insurance up here anymore, and the car insurance moved down here. Okay, so this is what I had to pay then for the yearly car insurance. And then that reduced my total monthly spending to $2,273. It means it came from $2,568 to 2,273, just for doing that one switch and reducing some other expenses a little more. That is an over $300 saving to 568 to a little under. It's a little less than 300. But hey, man, having $300 a month, more or less, it is a difference, dudes, man. This is a difference. Now, also, what happened is that I made then more money in the later part of 2020, and then I made in the beginning part of 2020, and we are going to talk about this in a moment, the exact details on that. But that amount, the total monthly amount, went up to 6,355 income as compared to 2,273, which is good, more profit, due to two factors. One, decreasing the overhead, and two, increasing the income. That's what financial planning is all about. And that's what you want to be heading for at all times. Reduce the expenses, increase the profit, increase the income. Okay? So now, like I said, these two spreadsheets are available on my website. And I will link to them so you can download them and use them to make your own ones. So now the next thing we're going to go into is the actual income. This is my statistic. I keep a statistics, and I very much recommend to everybody to keep a statistic for himself of his pilot car activity. And I break my stat down in two types of stats. One I call value of service delivered. That means I go on a trip, and the trip takes 2 days or maybe 3 days, and after that trip I put down on my stat, $1,500 of value of service delivered. It's just simply based on the agreement I had with the broker or the carrier, on the price and the hotel they paid for me and so forth, all that money that just got completed by this trip that I'm now supposed to get. And I put this down as value of service delivered because I don't have the money yet, but I have the definite agreement that I will get that money. By the way, I never did not get my money. I always got my money. There may be delays sometimes. Brokers might get into troubles. Carriers get into troubles, especially small ones. Small brokers, the same thing. They can delay the payments, but I always got them because I always stay on it. I always collect. I do not allow a no collection. I keep another stat, and that's called gross income. And that is then actually what gets into the bank account or arrives in the mail as a check or gets transferred through PayPal, whatever. There's different ways of doing this. But that is the gross income. That's then actually in the box. And so I keep these two stats, and it tells me, it clearly shows me what I work, how much I work, how much I make, and then how much I actually collected. And what I'm really always watching, believe it or not, is not the gross income. What I'm really watching and really work on is the value of service delivered. This is what you keep your attention on. You keep your attention on the stat called value of service delivered, and you want the stat always to go up, no matter what. You want it to go up. Now let's look at this stat more closely. So this is a standard, stat graph that I made up. And so this is the second half of 2020. Here you can see on 5/24/20 I had zero income. Now you see here the average weekly income was $1,527. The average monthly income was $6,100, and in 6 months I made close to $40,000. Keep that stat keep value service delivered, and then keep a stat for gross income. So with that, having said that, I'm going to end the video now. Go to my website. I have put the links below where you can get these documents, and I wish you good luck. And if you haven't subscribed, do me a favor, subscribe. Like or not like this video, leave a comment. You know, this is so important for the channel. You know, this is really one way you guys pay me. Believe it or not, this is how you pay me, because if you make a comment, if you like or dislike, you actually, the algorithm of YouTube will rank the channel higher. So that really would help me. Okay, guys? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you soon again. And I promise I won't take that long again to make a new video. Bye.